Good morning, afternoon, evening or night to all of you depending on your time. This is the 5th episode of the series called Laptop Liquid Loop, or the Triple L project for short. This video was meant to be the starting point of manufacturing the LLL, as you know if you watched the last video, which you can find now by clicking on the link in the corner. However, I'm very sad to say I've got a problem. Initially, I planned to start making the water block right around this time frame. I thought I could buy some material and then use the CNC milling machine that my university owns to actually make the water block. I even asked the technician in October if I could use the CNC milling machine, and he said I could as long as the part is not too complicated. Back then I didn't have a 3D model whatsoever to show, just some drawings of ideas. And I didn't really know what they would consider too complicated. So I assumed as long as it's possible to make the part on the CNC machine, I'd be allowed to use it. Well, apparently that's not the case. I made the model. You can watch that video by clicking the link in the corner, by the way, and sent it to the CNC technician to have a look. And that's where the problems began. He returned to me the following day and said that the part is very complex and would take around 80 to 100 hours to make. This approximation, as I confirmed later, includes literally just the time spent by the machine milling out the material. It does not include setup or G-code creation. G-code, from what I gather, doesn't take that long, but still, add another couple of hours for these things and we get over 100 hours just to manufacture the water block. Alright, I thought maybe there is a company I could pay to for manufacturing the water block. So I went to the lab and asked for advice. They recommended me a company called Protolabs. It's a manufacturing company. They do a couple of things, including CNC milling. So I went ahead and requested a quote from Protolabs. And this is how much they asked for it. £600. I thought this was quite weird, since water blocks are usually nowhere near that price. I get that manufacturers like EK probably have manufacturing lines and make a lot of water blocks, so the cost per unit goes down. But still, the price for an EK GPU type water block is around £120. Factor in the 100% profit EK probably makes, that's the minimum by the way, and you get the real cost of the water block at around £60. Subtract R&D costs to get the cost of just the material and manufacturing, and it's probably around £40. Depends on the water block, of course, and I don't know for sure if my assumptions are correct, but let's say they are correct and estimate £40 per unit. So how is it possible that for EK it costs £40 to manufacture a water block with much more complexity than mine, while for me the cost seems to be £600? Well, I went back to the lab hoping desperately to get some advice on how to lower that price, and I did. There were some technical issues with the model, details that are not important in terms of functioning but are very expensive to mill. The technician was very helpful and explained to me everything in great detail. I went back, simplified the model as per his advice, and requested another quote for this second revision. I was hoping to see the price dip below £200 to be fair, but no, as you can see the price for this was about £400, which is still too expensive. Mind you, I was initially planning to pay just for the material, which would be around £60 if I decide to go with copper, which I was considering at the very early stages of the project, or £10 for aluminum. So £400 was still way too much. One of the technicians said that I could still use the university CNC milling machine if some of the more time-consuming bits were made by Protolabs. So I started deleting bits. But here is revision 5, basically a slab of aluminum, and it's still over £200. £200 is the maximum I'm prepared to pay for this water block, by the way. I got rid of basically everything, leaving just the outline to do, which is pretty simple, the O-ring channels, which have to be very exact, so it's best if a company that specializes in CNC milling does that, and the port threads, which have to be good threads, since I'll be relying on them to avoid leaks. I literally shaved off almost everything, and the price they want is £275. I have no clue why it's so bloody expensive, but it's extremely frustrating. I spent a lot, and I mean a lot, of time designing the water block and thinking it through. I had to research into O-ring channels and how to dimension them. I had to research into usual safe water block thicknesses. I had to think of a way to make the ports on the side rather than on the top, which is how most other water blocks do it, and much more. And now it's just too expensive. My cost for the LLL casing alone is £400, and I just cannot afford to spend over £600 on this project. So this is the plan. I'm going to try to get some more advice from the technician once again on how to lower the price for this 5th revision. Hopefully there is a few small details that I'm missing that overcomplicate the milling process and increase the price. Hopefully. If not, however, I'm afraid I'll have to go for a cheaper alternative. There are aluminum laptop water blocks available online. They aren't perfect, but if I don't have a choice, I'll have to either go for one of them or ditch the project altogether, which I'll never do given I have a choice. Whatever difficulty comes up, I'll keep going and do everything in my power to get the LLL done. On this note, I would like to end the video. Since I don't know what's going to happen with the water block yet, the next video is going to be about the LLL casing, the making of the LLL casing. In terms of the water block, I'll be posting updates on Facebook and Twitter as I progress. You can follow me on either social media if you want to know how it is going before I upload a video update on it. Links to my social media accounts will be down in the description. Alright guys, don't forget to comment if you have anything to suggest in terms of solving this problem, or if you have a question about anything. I read and reply to everyone. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you in the next part.